Welcome to Community Cocktails with Kimberly, hosted by Kimberly Woodard, a realtor for more than 18 years with Ebby Halliday Realtors. She has received numerous awards, including multi-million-dollar producer, quarterly and annual company-wide honor roll recognition, VIP Customer Service Award for highest client ratings, D Magazine's Best Realtor, 5-Star Professional Award, and several other recognitions for her success and service to clients. Join her each week as she meets with the top community influencers to help you get to know the area you want to call home. Don't just love your home, love your community. And now, here's your host, Kimberly Woodard.
Good afternoon to Community Cocktails with Kimberly. I am super excited and so honored to have the Mayor of Plano, Harry LaRosiliere, and I know my R's are so bad, so I've been practicing with my R's all day, and his wife, which is also known as the First Lady of Plano, Tracy. Welcome this afternoon. Thank you so much for being here and being my guest.
Well, thank you for having us.
So,
happy to be here.
Great. So we're going to dive right into it and talk about Plano. And when you guys first came to Plano, I know that was back in, what, 1990?
I arrived in 1992.
Yeah. So, from that point, you guys arrived to Plano. What were you thinking? I mean, about the city? I mean, obviously, where you are now is not what you were thinking would happen when you moved here in 1992. So
no, absolutely not. I found Plano because I was recruited out of business school to come work for Frito-Lay.
Yeah.
And I got down here and I loved it. And I said, well, I'll be here 2-3 years. I was single, no kids at the time.
Yeah.
I said, probably 2-3 years, and then I'll head back to the East Coast where I'm originally from. And lo and behold, 2 years later, Harry and I, we dated, and he joined me here, and got married, had kids, and we never, looked back.
Oh. And so from 1992, Plano was a much different city in 1992 than it is now in 2019. So, from your experiences, I know it has changed. Let's talk about and share with the viewers the changes that we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's been a lot of changes in Plano. So, like Tracy said, I came in '94, and our thought were we're going to be here a few years and then head back east. I lived in New York. She's from New Jersey, but then like most people, you fall in love with the community and you realize there's a lot of things going on. So despite the many changes, a lot of things have stayed the same in Plano. It's a safe city, great schools, a lot of amenities. But since what's really happened is Plano's emerged into its own city.
Right.
It used to be known back then as Dallas's big suburb.
Yep.
One of the things I've focused on since getting elected is really having our own identity. So now we're all grown up. I call it Plano 3.0, where 1.0 was in the 80s when we're a bedroom community. Right. 2.0 was in the 90s and early 2000s when we were that big suburb. And now Plano 3.0, we're our own city, and we're a work center. Right. You could live, work, and play within our city and not have to leave to do anything, to have cultural, educational, recreational opportunities that just, keeps everybody here.
Yeah, and I agree with that, because I remember when I was younger growing up here, we would travel, and you never said you were from Plano. You just said, I'm from Dallas, because everyone knew Dallas. So, but now I travel and I say I'm from Plano. They're like, oh, I know exactly where you are. So it definitely has emerged as that city over the years. And I also think you probably would agree with me is that even though it is big, it still has that small town, center of, people know each other, and you really know each other in that community sense. So it's a tight-knit community. So when you moved here in '94, did you ever think you would be sitting here as Mayor of Plano?
Actually, I did.
Oh, okay.
I decided it was early 1990s I was going to be the mayor someday. I just didn't know it was going to be Plano. So
oh, wow.
Maybe I didn't know it was going to be Plano, but I had a vision of being mayor at that point.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So you did always have political aspirations?
I think being mayor is more of a calling. It's I think it's the highest level of community service. And so I think it's less politics and more service. You interact with the people that you affect. You have to, the the saying is that mayors can't afford to be politicians because you have to get the work done.
Right.
You have to, lights have to be on, street lights have to work, the police and fire have to be on the streets, the libraries, the rec centers. We have to balance our budget every year. And then you interact with the people you affect at the grocery store, at the gas station, at place of worship. And so you can't hide behind the desk. You can't shut down the city. You just have to do the work. And so I think it was 1992 when I decided I was going to be mayor someday. I just didn't know my path would take me to Plano.
Well, and Plano is, thank goodness, look at all the stuff that has happened in your term. I mean, we've gotten all these companies here. We had Toyota, of course, other companies as well, but just how much it's grown just in your short term of being in office. And
yeah, it's amazing how when I first got to Plano in '92, the tollway only went up to Frankfurt.
Yes.
And over the past few years, I mean, after that, we just saw tremendous growth, usually in housing.
Right.
And under Harry's term, he's really brought a lot of business development to the city, which has been fantastic. Like you said, Toyota, Liberty Mutual, JP Morgan, FedEx, a number of firms have joined us here.
Boeing, Fannie Mae, Hilti, NTT Data. Since we came to office in 2013, we've created close to probably somewhere around 30,000, 35,000 jobs.
Wow.
Median income probably somewhere in the mid 80s, 80,000, 85,000. And but it's really been the story that has brought a lot of prosperity to the entire North Texas region and Collin County, because from a housing perspective, many of the people that work in Plano don't necessarily live in Plano. They live in our cities north of us, in Frisco, Allen, McKinney. So now in Plano, on a typical day, you have roughly 50 to 60,000 people that come into Plano to work. So we are a employment center in Collin County.
We certainly are. And the traffic has shown it.
Yes. It's all those out-of-towners coming into our city.
What are they doing? No, but it's, but then it's helped the businesses, restaurant businesses, service businesses, because if you're working there, it's easier to do, eat there, get your laundry done there, get your, whatever your services that you need, shop where you work. And then people want to be close to that work. But it's, I've seen that in myself, the dynamics where people are living in Plano, so they're looking, it's kind of like, I'd say spider legs out.
Mm-hmm.
But then what I've also seen happen is that they want out, and then they've come and they've been like, well, I work here, I want to move closer in. So then, they end up, deciding I'm going to sell that house and move into Plano to be closer to work.
Yeah,
so.
I will tell you, Plano has so many things to offer. I say all the time, within 15 minutes, I can get pretty much where I need to go, whether it's for shopping or great, restaurants or medical needs, whatever it is. We have great schools. Everything you need is probably within 15 minutes.
I agree.
Parks. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Oh, I will say my mom doesn't leave. She doesn't. She does not leave. My dad always laughs is that her car has no mileage on it because she has her little bubble, her radius. She goes, well, I don't need to go to Dallas for anything.
I want you to give your mom this pen from the mayor because she never leaves Plano, so she deserves that, okay? Make sure mom gets that, okay?
Mom, you gonna see, Mom?
You stay in Plano, Mom.
Yeah, and, they've even looked at, do they move out of Plano, retiring?
Yeah.
And that's, what they've decided is, why would I leave? All my services are here, everything. And I think that's really contributed to the community that has been built up, is that people do stay. Or someone like me that went to Plano and then is raising my family and moved back.
Yeah. Well, so one of the fastest growing demographic in the last decade has been senior citizens in Plano. And the main reason for that is because the model used to be the kids grow up, leave the house, sell the house, move to Florida.
Right.
But that's not the case anymore. What we're finding with our seniors is just what you said. They have their friends, they have their doctors, they have their amenities, the restaurants they like, and their children, grandchildren, they want to stay. And so many of them are doing a number of things. They're selling their home and renting,
Right.
and moving into what we call our urban centers, like in Legacy or in downtown Plano, or some of them are downsizing to homes that are more senior friendly, smaller yards and things of that nature. And so those have become very popular as well.
I agree. I've seen that in a lot of aspects because they want to be all close. Now they have grandkids and they want to be, close to that.
And the proximity to DFW allows them to be able to travel and lock and leave and have the convenience of being able to leave their home because they don't have the big house anymore.
Oh, definitely.
And I think he's trying to rebrand DFW to DFWP.
DFWP, that's the new term now, DFWP.
Love it. Well, hey, I think it will eventually.
Well, we're the fourth largest city in the Metroplex. We're a population of close to 290,000 now.
Wow.
We'll top out probably at about 300,000, so we're not really growing very much from a residential standpoint. We still have some opportunities for businesses.
Right.
But, we're one of the major cities in the area. We're a work center, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be DFWP.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we'll see some different things turning in our housing. I mean, if I look at my crystal box, because people are wanting to be here, I think eventually you'll see what's happened in Richardson and Dallas, that you'll start to see some of those teardowns and rebuilds, and we've seen some in some little
more mature areas. Sure.
Just because people do want to live, in the city, and maybe they want something different, or they want. We've seen some add-ons and things like that for growing because they like that community.
And you have a policy, right, for the city where we help with rebuilding the.
Sure. So some of the areas in the central part of Plano, more mature areas, we have a program where you can, and I'm drawing a blank in terms of the name of it now, but basically where we provide tax incentives for people who do rehabilitation in their homes. And so you have to have a home has to be a certain age and a certain value, and then based on how much renovations you do, we'll do a matching. And it's really encouraging a lot of the renovations that are being done in our city.
Oh, definitely, definitely, just to keep it, keeps it growing and keeps everything going.
Yes.
So, what do we see for the future of our city? What do we, I mean, if we
what's
look,
next?
what's next?
Well, so I like to say we're really been in the era of Plano 3.0, and I think I have 2 more years as mayor, and I think we'll usher into that next phase, which is 4.0, where we call ourselves the city of excellence, but really it's going to be the city of excellence and innovation. I think we're going to see us really move forward in using technology in a very meaningful way to deliver services to our citizens in many different ways, and so. The easiest way I can think about is, for example, transportation. Autonomous vehicles are going to. It's right around the corner, and that's going to be an opportunity to get fewer cars off the road. There's going to be taking advantage of the ride-sharing economy, where with DART we already have this program called GoLink, where on-demand app where we have shuttles going different quadrants of our city. So again, you can get to point A to point B with less without getting in your car. And then we'll start seeing those delivery of services by using smart technology features, like there's methods where you can, for example, the lights will come on based not on a certain time, but based on the actual sunlight, and that'll deliver, be cost effective for our citizens. And those are the different things that we'll look at. That as we move into that next phase, we will be the city of excellence and innovation.
Well, so you guys remember the Jetsons.
Yes.
We are moving into the Jetson era.
Sure,
when we watched that, we were like, oh wow. I remember watching as a kid and just being like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. I mean, we are actually.
Have you heard about Uber Elevate?
No.
Uber Elevate is expected to come to our area by 2021 or 2022, and it's literally a drone that will take you from DFW to the initial pilot will be in Frisco, but it'll eventually come to Plano. and you'll be able to get off your business person will get off their plane, get onto this drone. Basically, it's an autonomous vehicle that driverless, and bring you to the Plano, Frisco area within 12 to 15 minutes.
Wow.
And then what I would imagine that next phase will be, then there'll be an autonomous vehicle waiting to take you to what's called that last mile.
Yeah.
And you might not actually ever get in the car, have a driver to get from point A to point B. Those are the things.
Wow.
And it's really not that far away. I think the technologies here is just a question of regulation and policy catching up to technology.
Still a little nervous about the no driver thing.
Well, they'll have somebody
at
the beginning. Their plan is to have somebody in there
for comfort.
For comfort level. But the reality is
they're really just there.
And when you think about it, there's drones being flown half across the world, and so it's just a question of a mindset and getting ready for it.
Oh yeah, no, that is going to be.
You're going to do the initial ride. I'm gonna,
That's right.
I can videotape you.
What it would be like, I know, and I'm not good with even like a roller coaster.
Community cocktails in the air with Kimberly.
That's right. Yes. The first podcast in the air.
I think you're going to have a lot of cocktails to make that happen. Yes.
Oh, do you know what I have to do to get on an airplane?
Yes.
Well, it's but that, I mean, again, it's it's just unbelievable, just the where we're going, and actually being able to really see all this. It's so neat and just so fascinating. So, well, okay, so we have 2 more terms. And you guys are
2 more years. 2 more years.
No,
this is my last time I'm
just kidding.
Yeah.
So I'm going to something else. So 2 more years, and we're empty nesters. Oh, where do we see ourselves after these 2 years? Are we going to continue this?
You tell me.
Oh, I know. Well, I know I'm working on my tennis game, so that's going to be consistent. So I'll see you on the court, Kimberly.
Great.
I don't know what he's going to do.
Well, I don't know what's next for me. I do know that, like I said, back in 1992, I know I was going to be mayor because that was just my calling to service, and so I'll serve and help in the community in one way or the other. It doesn't have to be an elected position. I've always felt that any elected position other than being the mayor of Plano is a demotion. So we'll see. We'll see. We have some time.
Your name is not going to be erased. It's going to continue. We're going to just continue.
He's not going to be the 21st person running for president now.
No, I'm not going to be on that list. I'll be 21 anyway. I have to wait to 2024, and I'll be out of the game.
Well, and maybe you could join us on the tennis court. Yeah, I haven't seen you out there.
No, I've been trying to get him out there.
I'll be rooting. How's that? I'll be on the sideline.
Well, you could try pickleball.
Pickleball. Well, yeah, that's one of the fastest growing sports for adults. Recreation is pickleball, and we have pickleball leagues in Plano and
we do
through our Parks and Rec. Yeah,
and they're definitely it's growing. I mean, they have pickleball tournaments now.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know about that. But it is definitely a growing. I haven't really gotten into it yet, but I'm gonna. That's my next thing. Once I have some more time, I guess I got to practice my tennis game.
Yeah,
that's right. That's all right.
Well, so we've talked about Plano. What else? Viewers, if someone's looking at Plano and looking as a city, it's maybe we've got viewers that watch this podcast all over the United States, and their questions on Plano. What would you say is for them? About Plano and why they should relocate here?
So the cornerstone of any great community is public safety, number one. I think it was yesterday came out. Plano's the second most safest city in America with a population of over 250,000. Second to everyone. Fantastic school district. Last year, PISD was ranked second in the nation in public schools. They graduate nearly 98% of the kids. 96% of them go on to higher education. We're known for our amenities in Plano. So you talked about your mom never leaving. Yeah. No matter where you live in Plano, you're a 15-minute walk from a neighborhood park. So tremendous open space. We have over 4,000 acres of parkland, 75 miles of hike and bike trail within our city limits. there's a park on the east side of Plano called Oak Point Park,
Yes.
which is about the size of Central Park in New York, to give you an idea of the
Did not
scope.
realize it was that big.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have that, and then the fourth component, which is the true cornerstone, is our people. You talked about the sense of community. In 2016, Money Magazine ranked Plano the third best city to live in America, best in Texas, and the comment was that we were the largest small city in America because we have that sense of community. And anytime I put out a public call for our community to come together, whether it be for our summer internship program to hire our kids in our high schools for the summer, to feed our hungry kids in our school, to provide services for the undernourished and underserved communities, the community, both the business and the people, come together in such a meaningful way that's really, again, that secret sauce is our people. So that's the reason to come to Plano. And just recently, we were voted the happiest city in America.
Yes!
You want to be happy, you come to Plano.
Yes, definitely. Well, it is. Why not? So, well, thank you so much for being on my podcast. And I hope my viewers up there got a lot of information about Plano. I even learned something growing up in the city. I've learned even more about my own hometown city. So thank you again. And
thank you.
That's a wrap.
Make sure Mom gets her
I will.
pen, okay?
And cheers. And I will say, Mayor has water.
Yeah, signature drink. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in to Community Cocktails with Kimberly. If you'd like to contact Kimberly with your real estate needs, you can reach her at kimberlywoodard.ebby.com. Hope you enjoyed our guest this week. Tune in every first and third Wednesday of the month for insights from industry leaders in your DFW area. Remember, don't just love your home, love your community.